There we go. All right, let's get started. We're going to be using the wall, not right away, but just so you're close somewhere where you can access the wall. Oh, Larry, could you bring that other little clock in for me from the other room? The little clock. So today we're going to start, grab a couple of your bricks, and at the top of your mat, put them on the shoe so they look like a shoebox size, the lowest side. And we're going to come down onto the mat, onto your belly, and then put the block, or put your shoulders over each block, like so. And the forehead down onto the floor. You can then, I'm going to lift my head because otherwise it's hard for you to hear me, but relax your head. You can even put a little blanket underneath your forehead or just use your mat, double your mat if you'd like. And we're just going to spread out the arms. Do whatever little movements you need to relax the pelvis into the floor. Maybe jiggle your hips a little bit. Extend your toes that you're on, your toes are straight. You're not with bent toed here. And we just want to relax into this position. Make sure you're relaxing the head and the neck. And this is just a gentle shoulder opener and relaxation pose. Now let's slow the thoughts down in your mind, creating that blank slate, letting go of any cares or concerns. And if you'd like to set an intention for your class, do so now. Now coming to your breath, and coming to an awareness of your breath. And again, I'm lifting my head up just so you can hear me. You keep your head down and relax. Relax the joint. And noticing when you lay on your belly, how the ribs expand at the side. Maybe feel the ribs expanding in the back of the body. Slow, smooth, relaxed breathing here. Slowing down as much as you feel comfortable. Through the nose, both on the inhalation and the exhalation. And noticing again that expansion of the rib cage out the side, sort of like a fat crocodile. You ever see how they look when they're laying on the ground, how fat their ribs look. Just sort of envisioning that shape with your rib cage. And let's just take a moment here, a minute or two, to breathe and relax, noticing any tension maybe you're feeling, and if you feel any, feel free to make any adjustments, maybe bending the arms, if having the arms out straight creates any discomfort. Maybe adjusting the pelvic bones. And breathe. Relax your face. Make sure there's space between your teeth so that your jaw's not clenching. Now we're going to do a little awareness of the glutes. The glutes are the muscles in your hip and your butt area. There's, I think, a set of 3 of them. They're very large muscles. And when they're weak or tight, they can cause pain They can cause a lot of problems, actually. They can cause even troubles with your knees or your ankles, but they support the lower back, can support the hips, support us in our walking and other movements. So let's just squeeze the back of the hips, just squeeze those glutes, hold it, squeeze them as hard as you can, couple breaths, and then release them. Inhale, squeeze again. Really squeeze them. We're just working a little strengthening here. And then release. One more time. Inhale, squeeze those glutes. And then release. Now, if we're lifting one leg up, bending at the knee, and then the other, we're just going to kick the legs gently and slowly, like you're swimming. Maybe a little bit more exaggerated. Continue to breathe. And then keeping both legs up, both feet up. Let's let the feet fall to one side gently. And then to the other side. And then just windshield wipering them back and forth. Letting the hips roll with them, that's fine. We're just loosening up the lower back here a little bit. And continue to breathe. Just noticing how the hips feel today. How one side feels versus the other. I always am tighter on my left side. I'm right-handed. It's not a coincidence. And then come back to center and bring your feet down to the floor. Now we're going to roll onto our side. I'm going to roll onto my left side. And I'm going to take one of these bricks and keep it under my head and move the other one out of the way. So I'm laying on my left side. Might look like your right side. I'm going to extend my bottom arm. In this case, I'm on my left side, so it's my left side out and my left hand out to the front with the palm down for support. And I'm bending the right hand and an arm and putting it on the mat for support. My legs are extended. Inhale, I'm going to bring the top right knee up towards my chest. Exhale, I'm going to bring the knee up to the sky. Inhale, I'm going to turn so that the foot is behind the knee up in the air. Exhale, I'm going to bring the knees down together. Inhale, knee up. Exhale, turn so that the foot is now by the knee. Inhale, bring the knee to the floor. And exhale, straighten the leg. We're just working into that hip joint a little bit. Again, inhale, bring the knee forward. This is also a bit of a mind bender. Exhale, knee to the sky. Inhale, foot up behind. Exhale, bring the knees together. Inhale, knee up. Exhale, foot down. Inhale, knee to the floor. And exhale, straighten the legs. Make sure you're keeping your head on the bricks, support the head, and don't pull the head up off. We want to release if you need to use more padding on that. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, knee forward. Exhale, knee up. Inhale, foot behind. Exhale, knee down. Inhale, knee up. Exhale, foot to the knee. Inhale, knee to the floor. And exhale, straighten. Now you can just roll over to the other side on those switch sides so you can see me both ways. And do the other side. So again, bringing the brick under your head for support, extending your legs. Extend your bottom arm out, palm down for support, and bring your other hand to the floor just for support. Inhale, bring the top knee up towards the chest. Exhale, knee to the sky. Inhale, foot comes up in line with the knee in the sky. Exhale, bring the knee down to the other knee. Inhale, raise the knee up again. Exhale, bring the foot to the knee. Inhale, bring the foot now to the floor. And exhale, straighten again. Inhale, knee forward. Exhale, knee up. Inhale, foot up. Exhale, knee down. Inhale, knee up. Exhale, foot down to the other knee. Inhale, knee to the floor.
and exhale straight. One more time. Inhale, move forward. Exhale, knee up. Inhale, foot up. Exhale, close the knees. Inhale, knee up. Exhale, foot down. Inhale, knee down. And exhale, extend the legs. Now notice just as you're working on that this week, because that's a little bit of a mind bender, so it may take you a few times doing that just to learn the pattern. But noticing once you get the pattern, working with the breath on each movement, and also noticing how one leg or one hip rather may feel different from the other. Okay. Coming onto all fours. Let's just do some big circles with the hips. My hands are under my shoulders, my knees are under my hips. I'm just doing some lazy circles, just moving the shoulders and the hip joints wherever it feels good. Nice big circles. Go one way, then let's go the other way. Noticing anything that is talking to you this morning and breathing. And then maybe doing some figure eights or just some wiggles, just side to side as you sort of move the body. Release the shoulders, maybe bending the elbows and getting down lower. Just wiggling the torso in any way that feels good to you. And then when we're ready, we're going to spread the knees and come into our child pose. Now remember, if you need something behind the knees because this pose is too tight for you, feel free to put it underneath there, a rolled up blanket. Extend the hands out for a stretch and bring your forehead to the floor, or you can put a brick under the floor or under the forehead. And again, if this pose is too tight for you altogether, then come onto your back. Spread the knees and just stay in this position with your knees spread as wide as is possible and your hands on your knees. And breathe. And as you work the child, if you're not able to do the position with the face down, as you work the position on your back, gently press on the legs to get a little bit more opening, a little bit more flexibility in the knees if possible, so that eventually you may find that this pose works for you. If you have a knee injury, it may never work for you. It just depends. And breathe. Releasing the hips, releasing the lower back. Make sure you're really feeling the breathing in the back of the body. Release. And when you're ready, let's come back up onto all fours. And we are going to take the left knee, cross it over the other knee over it, if this is available to you. This is a little strong stretch, so it may not be, but I'll show you from this angle. So I've taken the one knee into the center. I'm going to take my other knee, cross it over and behind. Now, as much as possible, keeping both knees on the floor, and begin to press back and just find your stretch. Reach out with the arms. Find your stretch. Just play with this a little bit. Find a stretch.
Now it would be helpful to see that side.
Okay, I'll show this from the side as well. I'm just going to rotate over this way. So I'm just coming, letting my hips go back and my arms come forward to show this stretch from this side. Noticing where do you feel the stretch. For some of you, you may not be able to go down very far. It may be something more like this. And that's fine. Just find your stretch and breathe into it. I'm feeling it on the outside of my front hip, as well as the back glute area. Tight glutes is also a problem when they're tight. We do a lot of sitting, watching television, on the computer, driving the car, so that the glutes can get very tight as well, which can cause a whole range of issues as well. When you're ready, let's come up. Let's do the other side now. So bring the other knee in more into the center of your mat. Take the other leg, cross it over, keeping both knees engaged at the floor. If it's available, find your stretch, reaching the arms out. Noticing, no, this side is definitely tighter for me. This is definitely glutes for me. Relax your head, make sure you're not holding tension in your neck, and breathe. If this is painful, then come out of it. Only go into it as much as you feel the stretch, and then work the stretch. No pain. And let's release. Come back up now onto all fours. Now we're going to do a twisted puppy. So again, I'm on my hands and knees, about hip and shoulder width apart. I'm going to reach up with the right hand up to the sky, and then bringing it down, sliding the back of the hand under the other arm, threading it through. I'm going to bring my head down onto the floor. Now again, you might want to put a grip under your head if you'd like for support. And I'm continuing to reach underneath, finding a nice little twist. And I'm reaching with my right arm, so I'm finding a little twist on the right side of my back. With the other arm, the left arm, I'm going to walk it out with my fingers and find a stretch, getting a little twist on the one side and a stretch on the other. Release your jaw. Now, if this is fine and you'd like to go a little deeper, you can take that upper arm, bring it up over the back, and sort of hook your fingers over your thigh, and then gently open that shoulder towards the sky. Either way is fine. And breathe. And then slowly, let's come back up to center. We're going to do the other side. And again, inhale, reaching up with my other arm now to the sky, and then sliding the back of the hand underneath the other arm, bringing my head down towards the floor, using a prop if you need to support the head. Reaching with that underarm to get a nice stretch and a little twist in the body. Now walking the other hand up in front of me for a stretch along this side. So getting a little twist and a stretch all at once. Relax the hips. Make sure you're nice and loose in the hips. Relax the shoulders and the face. And breathe. And then let's come out of that gently and slowly coming back up to all fours. Now let's just push back and sit down onto our mat. And leaning back onto your hands, I have my feet in front of me with my knees bent. I'm going to reach over to the side, bring my other arm and just touch the floor to match the other one. And then I'm going to come back. Roll over to the other side, touch the floor nice and slow, side to side. I keep sliding, so I have to keep adjusting myself, but very slowly, just working out mid and lower back. Gentle twist. And do a few of those. Nice way to just wake up the back in the morning. And after you've done a few of those, let's lay down on your forearm with the legs. Legs are bent. And I'm going to take the upper arm. So I'm on my right forearm. I'm reaching up with my left. And I'm going to just thread underneath for a little twist. And then come back up, reaching up to the sky, and then threading underneath feeling that twist. I'm reaching with my left arm, so I'm feeling a little twist here on the right side. And as you breathe and as you relax, maybe stretching a little more, going a little farther in your reach. Let's do another one here, or two. And then when you're ready, let's switch to the other side. So again, I'm going to lean back onto my hands, bending the legs, let them sort of fall to the side. I'm going to come down onto my forearm, reach with the other arm now, the right arm to the sky, and I'm going to thread the arm under. Find my stretch. Back up, reaching to the sky, threading under. Inhale, reach. Exhale, stretch, twist actually. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. Coming back up to a seated position now. And let's cross our legs just loosely, or sitting on a brick if you'd like, or a pillow. Or even you can have your legs extended, whatever's comfortable to you. Hands on your knees, close your eyes, and let's just do some gentle neck rolls. So inhale, relax your shoulders and drop the head down. And then continue to inhale and roll the head to the side slowly, coming to the top. And exhale, release really slow, keep those shoulders relaxed. Again, inhale, coming to the right side or left, whichever way you're looking. And then exhale, coming down the other side. Again, if you've had a neck injury or disc injury in the back of your, or concussion, you may want to keep the head forward of the shoulders and not let it roll into the back. Otherwise, do what feels comfortable to you. Do about 3 on one side, and then let's go the other way. Inhale. And exhale, check your shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Coming to center, open your eyes and raise your head. Let's bring the hands to your shoulders with your elbows in line with your shoulders. And let's just do some gentle rolls. Again, make sure your neck is relaxed, jaws soft. Do 3 or 4 one way, go the other way, nice and slow here, really noticing what's going on with your shoulders. Trying to get it as wide as you can without pain. And then coming back, keeping the elbows in line with the shoulders. As inhale, turn to your left, exhale to the right. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Keeping your hips down for support and rooted into the floor. Exhale. A couple more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Come back to center. Go the other way now. Inhale to your right, I guess, whichever way this way is for you, the other way. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Couple more. And shrug it out with your hands on your knees. We did the cats and cows on all fours in the first video, but this time we're going to do it from a seated position. So inhale, looking up, pulling on the knees maybe, and arching the, opening the chest space. And then exhale, pressing out, curving the spine, bringing the chin down to the chest, and inhale, squeezing those shoulder blades together, opening the chest, and then exhale, pressing out through the back of the body, just flexing the spine. Inhale, a few more, looking up. Squeezing the shoulder blades and then exhale, pressing down. One more time. And exhale, flexing the spine out the other way. All right, shrugging at your shoulders. Now opening your feet and or your legs and crossing them now so that I have an open space between my legs and my feet are somewhat under my knees and flexed. I'm moving the skin away from my hip bones so that I have a nice connection of the hip bones with the floor and pressing down through those hips. Raise the arms up and keep that pressure in the hips, pressing down to the floor, and begin to hinge, not roll, hinge from the floor, from the hips forward as far as you can, finding your stretch. Now, at a certain point, drop the hands to the floor. We want to make go as low as you can, but keeping that length in the back. Once you get as low as you can, keeping the nice long back, you can maybe walk the fingers as you continue to breathe and find your stretch. Again, this is not about hunching. We're not trying to get the head to the floor. We're trying to find length in the spine. So as my back releases, I'm just walking my fingers out a little bit. Relax the jaw, make sure you're not holding the head up. Again, a nice stretch for the sciatic area, for the glutes. Another breath. And then let's walk the hands back in. Now we're going to do whichever leg is in front. We're going to switch, put the other leg in front. Now turn sideways so that you can see from this way. Now, you can also do this with your feet looser. If you can't get into this position, don't worry about it. You can also try a brick underneath. It helps work into this position. Again, moving the skin away from your hip bones so that you're really rooted into the floor. Raise the arms, inhale, exhale, hinging forward. Again, keeping that length in the back, not hunching. And then when you get as far as you can, bring the hands down. Continue as you breathe, release the chin, and reach forward, maybe just little tiny little half-inch movements if you can with the fingers and finding your stretch, or maybe you just stay there. Nice long stretch in here. Finding length in the spine. And release, walk the hands back in and come up to sitting. Now we're going to move to the wall. I'm just going to push my mat back. Bring your bricks and your belt. And seated against the wall. You're going to bring your hips so that they're against the wall. Take one of your blocks and put it between your calves. Then my brick is on the low side like a shoebox. And then I'm going to just squeeze, flex my feet, squeeze the block with my calves. And find your sits bones again. Make sure you're really working the legs, pressing them down into the floor as well as squeezing in with the blocks, or against the block rather. Now, while we're sitting here and continue to use this, I'm really working my legs. My legs are tense. While we're doing that, grab your belt and let's make a loop. Again, going through 2 loops and back through 1. And then making it the loop should be about the size of your shoulders, shoulder width rather. So about shoulder width. And lay it down at the side for now. Taking your shoulders back against the wall or towards the wall if you can.
Now, not everyone's shoulders are going to go back against the wall. Years of hunching and just gravity and aging, the body tends to roll forward. So we're using the wall for feedback, and with your hands at your hips, and just seeing if you can get the shoulders back against the wall, shoulder blades and the shoulder and the back of the head. And don't be discouraged if you can't. The wall is just giving you information on what you're trying to get to. Now, the small of your back will not be against the wall because of the natural curve there, but the hips. And just noticing this posture again, continue to squeeze. This posture, it looks like we're doing nothing, but it's actually, it's actually working on correcting the posture. You're squeezing the brick, pressing down with the legs, flexing the feet, using the hands. I'm pressing down with my hands and squeezing my shoulder blades in so I can really get the shoulders into the wall and the head into the wall. Now, taking your hands, grabbing your belt, and putting your arms through the loop, being careful not to put the metal part on your skin. And then let's just bring the arms up. I'm actually going to tighten that a little bit, so a little bit more tension. Bringing the arms up. I have the belt on my forearms so that my arms are up in line with my legs, and then pulling the arms back into the shoulder sockets. So I'm not like reaching forward like this, I'm reaching in. But I'm continuing to now I'm giving pressure to the arms, pressing out, engaging your core, and breathe, keeping the face relaxed, continuing to squeeze the brick with your legs, continuing to press down with the hips and the legs. A lot of stuff going on here. All right. Inhale, now bring the arms up as far as you can, keeping that tension between the belt, and come as high as you can. If you can bring the hands to the wall, fine. If you can't, just come as far as you can. Reaching up, but this time we're pulling the arms into the shoulder sockets, but we're pulling up at the sides of the body, making space in the torso and around the spine as we reach, but keep the shoulders in their sockets. So just lengthening here. And breathe. Feeling free to do some small adjustments with your back or your head as you lengthen and find space. Continuing to squeeze that block with your legs. Relax the jaw. And let the jaw be parallel with the floor. Don't have it tucked down in. Maybe one more breath. And exhale, you can bring the arms down. Take the belt off. Take the brick off. Let your hand, close your eyes, bring your hands to your side, and just noticing how your body feels. You can get quite an alignment in this seated rod pose called Dandasana. Posture correcting. Now open your eyes, bring your feet together. Let's take our belt again. It doesn't matter what the loop is. We're just going to put the loop over our feet with the feet flexed. And I'm just going to, sitting up nice and tall, getting those hip bones worked into the floor. And I'm going to hinge forward. Again, keeping length. I'm not hunching. I'm hinging forward, thinking length is. So somebody's pulling the top of my head, has a rope coming out of the top of it. I'm going to work that head forward. And I'm going to use the belt to pull to find my stretch so I can work my hands closer to my head. Again, this is not about hunching. You're not to be trying to touch your head to your knees. That's fine if you can do that, but that's not going to get the length that we're working on here in your spine, as well as a nice stretch in the lower back. And I'm going to show you this from the side. As well. So nice and tall, working forward, breathing. Flexing the feet. I'm getting a nice stretch in the back in my hamstrings too, as much as that just is really dependent on how much you want to flex the feet. And as I breathe, I notice a little bit of loosening on my perpetually tight left side. First, I couldn't get my elbow down like that. And don't worry if you can't, I'm just saying, notice a little tightening. Breathing, relax the head. And then let's release. Now this time take the belt off and let's do it without the belt. Now again, feet are flexed in together, pressing down onto the legs for a nice support, moving the skin away so that my hip bones are really attached to the floor. Inhale, bring the arms up to the sky, finding space in the sides of the body as I reach from the sides, and then hinging forward, exhale, coming forward as far as I can, keeping my back long, and then stop with the hinge, but bring the arms to the floor for support. Relax the jaw and breathe. Any place that you feel tight, use the breath to relax into it. Breathe into it, as they say. And release. Coming back up to sitting. Let's shake out the legs a little bit, nice and loose now. And just noticing the difference that you may feel in the length of your body, the length of your spine. And now we are going to I'm going to just move my mat out from the wall a little bit. Coming into our downward facing dog. So with the hands about shoulder width apart, spreading the fingers nice and wide, pointing with your hands so that your 2s and 3 fingers are generally pointing forward, pressing to the tops of the hands, not into the wrists, and tucking the toes, press up into downward facing dog. My feet are about hip width apart, and breathe, inhale. And exhale again, checking your hands so that you're pressing the front of the hands, not into the wrists. Walking your dog if you'd like. Stretching out the whole back of the body, hips to the sky. Maybe coming up onto your toes. And if you bend your knees, you can get a little stretch in the toes as well. And then pressing those heels back, finding the stretch in the back of the body. Release for the lower back. And again, if the traditional down dog doesn't work for you, if you're having trouble with the wrists, you can use bricks under the forearms, you can use the chair, whatever works for you. Now on your next breath, let's bend the knees and begin to walk the feet forward towards the hands. Now, again, if you have to bring the hands onto a brick here, just bend the knees, first of all, so you keep your hands on the floor or on a brick. We're talking about hinging. We want to keep, when we hinge up to standing, we want it to be from the hip joint, not rolling up through the lower back. We want to put the weight on the hip. So I'm digging my heels, the weight of my heels, weight of my body into my heels, okay? I'm bringing my hands now to my waist. I'm engaging my core, so squeezing into the belly. Inhale, I'm going to hinge up again from the hips, keeping that length in the body and coming up to standing. So if you'd like to play with that, bend the knees and come back down again. Drop the head. When you're ready, engage the heels into the floor. So the weight of your body is into your heels. Bring your hands to your waist. And we're going to keep this length in the hips as we hinge from the hips and come to standing.
Shake out your body. And now coming into our Tadasana pose, our standing mountain pose. Take your belt and remove any loop you may have in it. And then let's put the belt around your neck and make sure it's even. And then we're going to forget about that for just a moment. Bring your feet together, your big toes touching, lift and with the big toes touching and the outside of your feet in line with the sides of the mat. Now, for some of you, your ankles won't touch, mine don't. Lift all the toes, spread them nice and wide, and then place them back down on the mat. So you're really gripping into the floor. Soften your gaze. If you can close your eyes and maintain your balance, that's fine. Otherwise, just sort of soften the eyes. And feeling that connection of the feet with the ground. And remembering the posture work that we just did in our Dandasana pose, trying to envision that now in our body as we stand. Feeling an energy rise up from the earth, up through our feet, lifting our arches, gripping in with those toes. Feeling that energy rise up through the legs, engaging our kneecaps and our thigh muscles. Now we come to the hips. There are 3 bandhas or locks in yoga. The first one that we're going to, well, there's actually more than 3, but the 3 main ones that we're going to talk about and work with is the Mula, the Uddiyana, and the Jalandhara bandha. The Mula is in the root of the body, and we engage it by pulling up in the perineal area. And when we pull up, we notice how the hips knit in. We feel the support of our internal organs, and this just creates a support for the base of the body, the spine, and our posture. As that energy continues to rise up into the body, we come to the navel area. We pull in and back and up towards the back of the spine, engaging the core. That's the Uddiyana. Now feeling that energy rise along, almost like a white or golden light along the spine, up the back of the body. As we open up the heart space, pull the shoulders back, engage those shoulder blades, squeezing between in the back there. And then allowing that energy to rise to the base of the neck. Gently pulling in at the jaw, not hard, but just a gentle pulling in so that our jaws are not jutting forward. We create that normal curve in the back of the spine, back of the neck. And now the neck and the head is connected to the spine as well, and the energy can flow freely up the back of the head and out through the top of the crown of the head. Hands are at our side, feeling this beautiful, strong as a mountain pose. And our posture strong and erect, feeling the energy moving between the earth and the sky to the earth. And breathe. Through the nose. Now, when you're ready, open your eyes if they're not already. Take a step apart so that your feet are about hip width apart. Let's take our belt, place it underneath your armpits, and bring it to the front, holding each side with each hand by your shoulders. So I have the belt, as you can see, under the armpits and around the bra area, if you're a bra wearing person. And then we're going to, can you correct that? Pull the thing back a little bit. That's fine. Maintaining our mountain pose, we're going to slide the hands up towards the end of the belt until you feel a lift in the back. And I'm just going to use my arms here to create a little traction, to
Pull and open the torso. Breathe. Relax the neck and the jaw here. We're just creating traction with our arms. My elbows are bent a little bit. Depends how tall you are, of course, and the length of your arms. Just creating a little bit of lift. Looking up towards my hands. And breathe. And release. Shrug it out, enjoying this feeling of openness now in the torso. I feel a little bit taller. Just helps to create space. Now taking the belt over your head, and I'm holding it about, well, you hold it until there's tension between your hands and keeping the arms straight. And we're going to roll the arms back behind us, roll the belt back behind us. And very slowly here, especially if you have any issues going on with your shoulder. And just rolling back and forth. We're just rolling into the joint. Back and forth. If you can't roll your arms back with the arms straight, take a looser grip, a wider grip on your belt. If you're not feeling anything, take a tighter grip of the belt. And you can also, if you have like one arm that you want to work, you can push out with one, or have one extend out to the side, the other one over your head, and go back and forth to work that side individually. Or if you've got an issue with the other arm, you can work the other arm, just holding the one arm stationary and then the other arm going back and forth. Shake it out. You can also, just holding the belt out nice and wide, just do some around the worlds. Just bringing one arm over, then the other arm over. This is just a nice shoulder opener. Make sure you're keeping your chin parallel to the floor and relaxing your jaw. Go the other way. And release. You can bring the belt, put the belt on the side now. Bring the arms up. And again, finding space, reaching to the sky, feet are about hip width apart. Let's grab one wrist, the opposite wrist. I'm mirroring you. I'm grabbing my right wrist, reaching up, and then over to the side. Again, I'm pressing down with my opposite heel to find traction in this side of the body. And breathe, looking forward. Nice stretch. Another breath. And then come to center. Shrug out your shoulders. Inhale, arms up. Grab the other wrist. Up. Thinking up as you inhale, and then exhale, keeping that length. And then reaching to the side. Again, pressing down the same heel of the arm you're pulling to find that stretch inside of the body. And breathe. Relax the jaw. And coming back to center. Shrugging your shoulders. Now taking a nice wide stance with your feet facing forward and my hands on my hips. I'm going to just begin to swing my hips out to the back and around, just making some nice circles. And this is something you can do throughout the day if you feel your back, especially lower back tightness. Just do some swings to loosen up that lower back. And then coming back up to center. Now taking a couple bricks if you'd like, or you can do this imaginary, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to build a little object there and standing to the side of it. I'm going to lift so I'm mirroring you, that's on my right side. I'm going to take my right foot and lift it up over and then lift it back and over, just a little bit of hip strength work here and back. You can, again, you don't have to use the bricks. but we're working on strength. And do, I don't know, 4 or 5 on one side, as many as you can, where it feels right. And then let's do the other side, other hip. So again, lifting, and then lifting as much as you can, just using the leg and the hip. And it doesn't have to be this high. If that works for you, if you can do it, then absolutely. But if you can't lift it that high, then do whatever works. And release. Now we're going to move them out of the way and pretend that there's a tunnel we're trying to get underneath here. We're going to bend the knees, we'll spread our legs and just reach up, and then we're going to duck back down. So just ducking under the tunnel, keep your face somewhat forward, or at least in a natural curve, and just feel that rolling from side to side. All right, come to standing and shake it out. Okay.
Tim,
We are going to, let's come on to, grab a pillow if you have one. We're going to place the pillow on the middle and edge of the blanket, or excuse me, mat, yoga mat. A little bit of ab work here. Trying to figure out a way to show this to you. Okay. And as we did last week, we're going to sit on the pillow. And then we're going to scooch back onto our forearms and come to the floor. And I'm going to move the pillow so that just my tailbone is on the pillow. I'm going to scooch myself out a little bit, find that scoop in my belly so that the small of my back is on the floor. So your hip bones are on the pillow, small of the back is on the floor. Bring your arms out to the side and grab the edges of your mat, which are now around your shoulders, somewhere like that, depending how big you are, and hold on to that, to the sides of the mat. Bring one leg and then the next up over your chest. So my knees are really high. They're not like this. My knees are up over my chest. From here, I'm just holding the sides of the blanket. I'm just going to roll slightly from side to side, keeping the knees up close to the body. And I'm going to roll as though I'm trying to get my knees over to my elbows. Engage your core here and keep the contact of the small of the back with the floor. Side to side, only going as far as you can. If you can go, some of you may be able to go the whole way over. Engage your core here. Make sure you're on the small of your back. Side to side. And do a few of those. And then come to center, and let's just take a couple of breaths here. Again, this is core work. Now to take it a step farther, some of you that may be all you need to do this week, to just work on that, engaging your core, maybe going a little deeper. Again, totally engaging the core, keeping the knees up close to the chest. And then to the other side, very slowly. To take it a step further, again, I'm holding onto the mat with my hands. I'm going to come to the side, and I'm going to kick out my knees are up towards my elbow. I'm going to kick out one leg, engage the core, come back to the center. Roll over to the other side, kick out the top leg, engage that core, make sure the small of your back is on the floor, come back to center. So just play with that a bit. Engage the core. Okay. You can even do this to help you remember to engage your core. You can put a brick between your knees because you have to squeeze, which engages the core in order to hold the brick. So coming to the side, take the top leg, back down to center.
side, kick, come back to center. If you are at that point and it is available to you, you can go a step deeper. Come to the side, again, knees up, 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 and kick both legs. Really have to hold the blanket or the mat here quite a bit, and then come back to center. Go to the other side, kick, and come back to center. So several options of things you can work on there to start developing some strength in your core. And then come back to center. Bring your feet down
5.
and lift the pillow out. I'm going to scooch around here so you can see me. Now, bringing that brick, have both of your bricks close to you here. Now on my back, I'm putting a brick between my knees. My feet are on the mat and they are slightly pigeon-toed, letting the small of my back settle down into the floor, lengthening, pulling my hands under my hips and sort of lengthening the skin on my hip bone so that my tailbone is getting pulled down a little bit and the small of the back is engaged to the floor. With my hands at my side, I'm going to press through the big toes and lift those hips, coming into a bridge pose. Now, when you're doing this, and keep the hips up as you breathe. Keep your gaze forward. Don't turn the head from side to side. Squeeze, 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 and bring the hips down. I'm actually going to turn this to the second level for my knees. That feels a little bit more comfortable. Inhale, lift. Squeeze. I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm squeezing my belly. I'm squeezing between the knees. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lifting the chest, maybe working the shoulders under the chest if you can, and then dip. And then finally, one more time, lift. This time, grab that other brick, place it under your sacrum. Remember, that's between the pelvic or the hip bones in the back there, that flat area. And just come to rest in this position, moving your shoulders around whatever you need to. Close your eyes. And let's just take a moment here to breathe. Now, for some of you, if your back is flexible, you might want to use 2 bricks. That's up to you, or put the brick at a higher level. That's up. I wouldn't go too high. Just a gentle, passive back bend. And when you're ready, you can press through the big toes, lift the hips, grab that brick, and remove it, laying it to the side. Bring your knees in over your chest. Interlock your fingers, and let's just do a little counter pose here, some gentle rolls into the small of the back. Maybe letting one leg stretch out straight and keeping the fingers over the other leg. Kicking that leg out just for a little stretch, pulling the knee in towards the shoulder. And maybe doing the other side. And when you're ready, release, maybe taking a final stretch with your hands above your head, kicking your heels out, and finding your Shavasana pose. Checking your hips, maybe wiggling your hips to side, shaking out the feet, rolling the head from side to side. With your palms facing up. quiet the mind, return to normal breathing, and relax. Gently wiggling your toes and your fingers. Gently moving the head, rolling from side to side, very gently. When you're ready, bending your knees and rolling over your right side. Taking a moment here, keeping your eyes closed, taking a breath or two. And when you're ready, you can press yourself up to a seated position. Keeping your eyes closed for another moment if you'd like. Bring your hands to your heart. Focusing on the intention that you may have set at the beginning of class, filling it with the love and the light and the energy of your practice today. Allowing that energy to flow freely through your whole body, feeling its regenerative effects, and then releasing it out to the world as a blessing to all you meet today and all those who are near you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.
Namaste, Robin. Have a good week.
Thank you. And as always, if there are any questions or anything you'd like to ask, feel free to reach out to me. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Robin.